Hello viewers and welcome to my new video. In today's video I would like to talk to you about something that I've been observing, actually probably for quite a few years now. But it's what I like to call the new breed of musician, okay? So say in the past, and even probably that was probably before even I was born and even started playing music or anything like that. Usually playing music meant, I don't know, maybe, probably people would learn actually something on their instrument first, like a guitar. They would play some chords and learn some stuff, and then if they wanted to play with other people, they would obviously have to go into a rehearsal space, get a band together, other band members, and then play together, practice, rehearse in the same room. And then that would lead to, playing gigs. So whether that would be a pub gig or a bigger venue gig or a club or whatever, all the way to the stadium. All that was about, physically being present together as musicians, but also with your audience. So effectively being in the same room, experiencing the same event, and the same moment. Together. We have been seeing for quite a few years a change, and that change has been driven by the internet and the social media platforms. So social media platforms such as YouTube, for example. So what I've been seeing more and more really is that there are so many of these musicians. So for example, one of the group that I could identify is the instrumentalists or some guitarists, for example, who would play covers of other people's songs. So say they would take a song every week and then play that song through, or play the main solo from that song effectively, and then post it up, I don't know, on Instagram, on TikTok, or on YouTube, and that kind of thing. So that's one group. And some of these musicians, they never play live, or they have never played live whatsoever. There are some really huge channels actually here on YouTube, where somebody who even is writing their own songs or playing some covers or doing some mishmash of certain different things, all they ever do is do that stuff on YouTube. So, and then they build like this massive audience basically, and people watch them, and that's all they do, and it's all online. So this person is never, has never performed live. You're never going to have the opportunity to go and see them in a venue, for example, performing. So that's really interesting, because that's a huge shift and a significant change from what it used to be like. And there's also something else I've noticed, which is like the even newer phenomenon now, which is that artists and musicians are even sort of being, brought back to life. So for example, at certain gigs now, you can see that, I don't know, there was something I've heard of. I've not actually seen this, but Paul McCartney performing with John Lennon, and sort of Paul McCartney playing sort of at Glastonbury, and then John Lennon being, streamed, or projected on the screen. So his sort of a video of John Lennon with some sound of his guitar, for example, or his voice, was effectively projected on a big screen at the same gig, and it's sort of like, so you kind of perform in a way together with the person who is no longer with us anymore. And I've also heard some people mentioning holograms. So effectively you would maybe in the future experience something like, say if you didn't get to see a certain person, I don't know, like say Elvis Presley or somebody like this, maybe or Jimi Hendrix, or people who passed away some time ago, and then there are people today who may be listening to their records, although they're never going to have an opportunity obviously to see them live. And it's already been mentioned that there could be gigs in the future where you're going to see these people kind of live, as in their hologram being sort of displayed, because the video that was kind of recorded so many decades ago is going to be used and repurposed, and sort of like a hologram of that person is going to be created, and then people are going to almost like experience what that might have been like if that person was really on stage and playing for you, that kind of thing. So that's really interesting in itself. And there's something else that I wanted to mention actually in this video, another observation I've made as well about these sort of online musicians who are still alive obviously now, and some of them also do something that I've noticed, which is a stream gig basically, so what they would do, say like I'm doing now talking to you on my channel, if I say picked up my guitar and then started playing my songs, well, some people have done that. I think that also was sort of used or began being used more widely during the COVID-19 pandemic, when there were sort of lockdowns in many countries, and I think some bands and artists started using this more and more. So basically they would kind of stream their live performance so people could watch them. So effectively, for example, if I say streamed my gig here at home, in my studio, and I could basically then, anybody all over the world could watch that gig effectively, and also pay like a ticket, because what I believe as well is that people have done actual tickets to these events, so effectively you can be sort of invited, pay for it, and that way I think that makes sense, because obviously you've got the artist perform, and then people can sort of come to your gig, watch you play, and kind of have that experience with you, So it's really interesting. It's not actually something that I'm excluding from my arsenal of sort of playing, and I might actually do that kind of thing in the future as well. But it's all really interesting, and like I said, I just got this inspiration to make this video, and talk to you about these observations of mine. But I would be really curious to hear in the comments any of your own observations, maybe preferences as well. If you could comment and tell me what it is that you prefer. Do you prefer watching somebody, say, on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or another social media platform, or do you prefer, say, going to live gigs and have that live experience in the same room as an artist, with the artist that you like or the band that you really like, as member of the audience? So yeah, please leave me a comment below, and I will see you in my next video.